Hi guys, my name's Emma and let's talk shit stuff. Tis the season to be jolly. Oh, really pissed off. Guys wanted to hear my shit list and here it is. These people are on the naughty list, can you tell? I don't know, is that too much? Anyway, I'm gonna count down the top 10 worst films that I watched this year. If you are a spooky astronaut yourself, you will know about most of these films. I've definitely spoken about them, at least in my favorites, or done a rant. So if you wanna know more, check out my channel because I'm sure there'll be a lot. Number 10, this is a film that a lot of people actually said was okay, and I don't think that's okay, that you think it's okay. No, really, you can think what you want. This film is not okay. This is Rings. I was so let down by this film. You guys know I'm a huge fan of the original Ring. I think, well, the remake of the original Ring. I think it is fantastic. It's the best remake ever, hands down. But this film is everything that the Ring was not about. The Ring is about, I'm gonna get real mad. The Ring is about Naomi Watts' character, who is a strong female who makes mistakes. She doesn't have a good relationship with her son. She doesn't have a good relationship with men. She is a complicated female hero. And that's what we need to see in movies. We need to see more complicated females who are bosses, but they also make mistakes because you don't have to be perfect. And that is what The Ring is about. Samara made some mistakes. Give the girl a break. But in this film, you see the complete opposite. You see a girl who is obsessed with her boyfriend and her boyfriend makes some mistakes and then she has to go and clean it up. And I don't like that. I'm not down with it. If you guys like Rings, I don't understand why. I really don't get it. I'm sorry. This is my rant. I'm allowed to get mad. Number 9 is Bedeviled, whatever you want to call it. It is bad. I feel like a lot of people in the comments for my review of it were saying it wasn't the worst film ever. Of course it wasn't the worst film ever. That's why it makes number 9. But I feel like we're lowering our standards a little bit sometimes when we haven't seen a good movie in a while. We really like the premise and we really want it to work. This film was never going to work, and you guys know that. It's about an evil app that is trying to kill people and succeeding. And then there are a bunch of teenagers, sometimes friends, sometimes not, end up trying to end the app. It doesn't really make much sense. It comes to a conclusion really fast, and it is not a film that you want to watch. Number 8 is Bornless Ones. This is another film I did a rant on. I thought, like the other ones on this list, this film actually had a lot of potential. I did like the trailer when it first came out. The film is about a young lady who is with her friends and her brother has an illness. They move her brother into this house because it's very close to the hospital. When they move into this house, they find strange symbols that are linked to a satanic cult, and they start clearing them away, and then soon they realize what a mistake it was. This is one of those films where the trailer really sold it to me. I thought it was gonna be terrifying. I thought it was a great idea. This boy has CP and all of a sudden he can walk again, and it just seems like one of those shocking films, but they didn't milk it in the right parts. They really jumped that kind of scary aspect where someone who has been ill for a long time all of a sudden is better, and then they went really into the exorcism parts. I remember there was a few really good acting scenes or a few people who were alright in the film, but the good was definitely outweighed by the bad when the bad acting kicked in with some of the other characters, and there was just a lot of mishmashy plot holes, situations, idiots in a house, get out of there, man. Number 7 on my list is Dolly Deadly. Should have been called Deadly Dolly, I don't know. This film was a sham, Sometimes I like watching some really bad films and I just like the fun of it, but this film was just oversaturated mess, and it was just a bunch of scenes kind of threaded together by really, really cheap string. The film is about a young boy who is getting teased a lot, and he sets out with his dolls. Well, he creates a persona with his dolls and starts killing everyone. It seems very straightforward, but it was just trailer park nonsense in the way that it is set in a trailer park, and it's taken the piss out of white trailer park trash. It's just a lot, and I felt like what really threw me is the killing scenes, and when I say oversaturated, I actually mean that with the color, like the color grading and the costumes. It seemed like it was more based on the actual kills, and then the storyline was put around it. But the storyline's quite crucial to actually giving a fuck, and that was completely lost. But the oversaturated, amazing scenes that just took all of their time and all of their budget, I felt like, and everything else just was lacking. It was a really weird movie though. If anyone else has seen it, congratulations for sitting through the whole thing. It was very weird. Number 6 is a movie that I also did a rant on. It is From a House on Willow Street. Oh my god, this film has such a good premise. They kidnapped a girl who was in the middle of an exorcism. She was getting exorcised. And I just can't believe how good of a storyline that is for a horror movie. I love when things intertwine. I love the whole, like, you think it's gonna be a kidnapped movie, like a ransom film. You think it's gonna be like a Don't Breathe situation, and then it ends up having some crazy paranormal aspect. And I thought that was really good. But the film made no sense. There's this one actor that is fucking atrocious. The dialogue was all off. They were really trying to explain and give people backstories when I don't give a fuck about any other character except for the chick who is possessed by like a devil. Come on. It was really hard for a horror lover to watch because you felt like all of your dreams were being pushed down the sink very fast, and you were just like trying to stop it with your mind. I've really lost my mind this year, I think. Number 5 is Let Her Out. This is a film I definitely spoke about on one of my favorites because I wanted to warn you, because the cover always comes up on Netflix. Don't watch this film, it's awful. It is very confusing, and it's meant to be, but then it was meant to have like a clear resolution, which really doesn't work out. The film is meant to be about a girl who suffered from an accident on her bike, and then she starts having these manic like blackouts where she doesn't really know where she is, and she ends up in like an alternate reality, or like, you know, like it's like a sliding door situation maybe. I'm still not sure. The acting in this film is atrocious, and the payoff just isn't there. That is what you're waiting for the entire film, because it is one of those films that, you know, you're waiting to figure out what the mystery is and what's actually happening, and when it finally does happen, it doesn't really make any sense. And it's definitely a film I'm imagining, like, what do you call it, the Google like self-correcting. I imagine people going like, let her out, what does it mean? The film doesn't make any sense is what I'm trying to say, and the acting is atrocious. I would really stay away from this one. The storyline wasn't that great anyway, so it's not like there was a great premise that you could kind of draw inspiration from if you're a writer or whatever. This film was just plain bad. Number 4 is Tonight She Comes, and if you have ever seen the trailer for this film, there's a trailer that makes it look almost like a retro, like 80s slasher flick, and let me tell you, it's definitely not that. But the trailer does a really good job at fooling you. It is over-sexualized teens and just making dumb decisions. Maybe it is a slasher from the 80s. It's just background noise to me. The storyline was not clear. It just seemed like a really cheap way to make a horror movie, and it just did not work out. There's nothing original about it. It's not acted well, it's not well thought out, and it's just a mess. I know I feel like I'm saying the same thing, but I feel like I dislike films for the same reason every time. The storyline for this one doesn't really make any sense to me. A girl goes missing, 2 friends end up in the same location, and then they're all gonna die. I don't know, like, I'm not a slasher fan, so if you are a slasher fan and you enjoy this film, please let me know what you think. I love my Scream, I love my Freddy. I hate this one. A film that I hated with a bit of a passion this year was my number 3, which is Street Trash. And before you say anything, this film was actually picked by my boyfriend for 31 Days of Horror. I watched it on Halloween. We were psyched. We thought it'd be cheesy goodness. Cheesy goodness. Who doesn't love some pizza? But this one is just an awful film. And it's really sad. I know my friend Dino, shout out to Dino, loves this one. I fucking hate it. I thought it was atrocious. It has rape scenes in it, and it's meant to be a comedy. I felt like there was no real payoff for the actual kills, which the kills were an amazing idea, especially with like the paint and everything, and it's all just a sad story. If you guys are unaware of the storyline, which actually sounds, I mean, it's pretty demoralizing, but it sounds pretty cool. It is a liquor store owner who sells this kind of toxic brew to these homeless people, and then they start like exploding, and it sounds amazing, but yeah, wrapped in there is a whole lot of rape and just butt jokes, and it just is so stupid, and the homeless people in it is just, it's just very sad. It's a very sad movie, and I just did not find the fun in it, unfortunately. Number 2 is a film I was rooting for from the start of the year. I actually talked about this in my 2017 most anticipated films. I talked about this one and I talked about Rings. Eloise. Some people think that this film's okay. Let me know what you liked about this film. I felt like it was so far-fetched. Pretty much this guy needs to go back to this abandoned hospital to get his birth certificate, I believe his birth certificate or some kind of files there, because he is going to inherit all this money. So they all break in, and then from there, it just becomes a paranormal mess. The acting is very weird in this film. It is shot very weird. He's kind of trying to be like a heartthrob. It was just all wrong. It wasn't gritty enough. It just completely missed the mark for me. It's really sad because this film features Eliza Dushku and Chance Crawford, both semi-great actors, but both great actors you'd think in a horror movie like this, but not so much. My number 1 is not going to be a surprise to anyone here, especially my Patreons. Hashtag horror. What? This film makes no fucking sense. Like, if you can explain this film to me, go ahead. I don't even know what this film is about to this day. It is on Netflix, so if you want, give it a go. I watched this with my patrons because I thought it'd be like a fun experience, and it's probably the worst thing that ever happened to me. I'm joking. Am I? I don't know. The film surrounds a bunch of like 12, 13-year-old girls in this mansion. Chloe, 70, is their mum, one of their mums, I believe. And one of them goes missing, and then like people start dying. It's very weird and it's very hyped up. Lots of emojis, lots of glitter text. It's just horrendous. The story plot makes no sense. The kids are just awful to each other, and I don't know what Chloe's doing these days. She did this one. She also did Snowman. Someone needs to call her manager and give him a good speaking to, because this film was just fucking bizarre. Don't do it, not once. This film takes the cake for me. These are films that I watched this year. Not all of them are from 2017 at all, but these are definitely on my shit list, on my naughty list this year. I don't know if you guys enjoyed this rant. You guys seem to love seeing me angry. We'll give you some runners up. The Elf, which I recently did a review for. That film was awful, mainly because of the acting and the CGI of the Elf, if you can call it that. Another film that I watched really recently was Red Christmas. Although that film wasn't as bad as The Elf, it had its flaws. If you haven't seen any of these films and you had planned on seeing them, I hope I saved you some time. Cross them off, put them on your naughty list, don't watch them, and I hope I saved you some time, because 10 movies, what is that? At least, 15 hours of my life that I cannot get back. I would love that day back. Hope you guys enjoyed this. You asked, I delivered. If you didn't like this, don't worry. More good stuff coming up. I'll get more positive next time, I promise. All the negativity is out of our system, and this way we can go on to 2018 being more positive. How about that? We'll try. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys very soon. Thank you again for being here. Also, if you want, why don't you click the notification bell, because I've never said that before, but I do 2 videos a week and some people don't think I do any. Anyway, I hope you're having a great day, and I'll talk to you guys all very soon. Stay spooky. Bye.